Okay, hello. Welcome to Diary 6 or something. I think it's been like a week since I started these, or a little bit longer. I feel like yesterday I was a lot more happy talking about it, which is funny because I talked about it in like at midnight or something, or like 12:30 a.m. It was the middle of the night. This is my hair, by the way, after I shower and I put it in braids. Really pretty. Not the point. See, I feel like I get less fast to the point whenever I'm feeling more sad or like vulnerable and stuff. Um, like I struggle. I know this. I struggle really, really hard talking about things that make me sad. Even when people give me the space, like genuinely, they need to give me at least like 5 minutes of just me allowing myself to like find my starting point. And like a lot of people, obviously, they don't really have. They tend to fill in the gaps when it's quiet. And especially if I am struggling with like starting to talk about it, they're like, "Oh, you don't actually want to talk about it." Like, no, I do. I just need to find my starting spot. I need to go through this like layers of uncomfortableness just to reach this point where I'm like, okay, this is actually what I'm feeling. And then usually when I'm talking about it, I talk about it very shortly and more with jokes or anything. I'm like, oh, I'm taking up too much space, taking up too much time. I'm erasing myself whenever I'm talking about my emotions. There's also a fly here. Um, and I, it's also like just posting things that are vulnerable and stuff. Like I always thought that it had to do with insecurity and like not being confident. When I was 16 and like from 14 to like 16 or something, 17, honestly, for a very long time, I thought I had anxiety until I actually searched help for it because I was like, oh, that's like my biggest problem. I have like this anxiety. And then somebody like I got a lot of referrals to like different people. So I talked to a lot of different people in the short time until I landed on my confidence training. And then somebody told me like, yeah, I don't think you have anxiety. I think it is just self-confidence issues. Like I don't think you have any confidence. And I was like, but I'm confident. I think I'm pretty. Um, in that same time span, I also ranked my personality A1. Girl, what are you on about? But so the completely forgot my train of thought. um, yeah, so like I always thought that me not sharing everything like online on like on Instagram, like I always thought it was like based on insecurity. Like today, I want to start with like daily songs because a friend of mine, like the bridge guy, he's doing that, and I was like, it's fun, and then people see a little bit more into what I'm thinking because songs are such an emotional outlet to me without me having to either write about it or talk about it or like do some artwork with it. That is my easiest way of expressing my emotions. Which means I listen also to a lot of music and I have a lot of playlists. And I finally started making playlists based on emotions and not based on specific scenarios because I've done that. Um, and so I want to start with like sharing daily songs, and now today I did that. But then also like I did go through like 5 minutes of like, oh, this is scary. It feels very vulnerable to share these songs that I feel really really relatable to. Um, and I already do this like whenever I post on like my stories or whenever I post like bigger posts. Like I always try to find a song that I feel I relate to a lot in that period of moment. For example, I posted like on my private account. I'm a lot more vulnerable now, and like I'm also talking kind of not through the breakup because I also was like I don't want to talk about it. People know him. I have barely figured out what the fuck I was doing, and like if I would have talked about it, I would have very heavily blamed him, and then now I would have needed to go back being like, hey girlies, turns out it was me. I was the problem. So maybe I will make like a bigger post at some point, being like, okay, so this is actually what happened. This is actually what I've been dealing with for the past couple of months. This is also why I struggle talking about it. And so, like then I do post like songs and stuff. So I posted Sun Protector by Role Model on one of my private Instagram like posts, and also All My Love by Noah Kahan. Because at the same time, like in 1 week, I was feeling so guilty. Like that's when I realized, like, oh, I have all these avoidance issues. I felt so guilty, and I was like, am I guilty? Am I sorry? Am I dragging this forever? Am I thinking about September? Yes, 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 yes. Am I lying to my mother? No, I don't really talk to her currently. Um, but would I lie to her about finding another? Yeah, probably. I'm very dramatic. Let's be real, I'm very dramatic. And especially about those things. And then at the same time, like, All My Love was, I listened to that after I sent like the voice message to him like last week. And he sent the voice message being really nice. And then finally, I don't know, it's like kind of the sky started clearing up. So then I also listened to Clean by Taylor Swift. And by All My Love by Noah Kahan. And it's like, you have all my love. I'm still out here with the pills and the dog. I don't have it, not with the pills and also not with the dog, clearly. But you have all my love. And so I today shared one, which is What If I Love You by Gatlin? Gatlin, I think it's it. And I listened to the song actually, I think somewhere in 2023, like quite a lot. And then I kind of rediscovered it and was like, this is so relatable, because she starts off with like, people say like, it's a once in a lifetime thing, so guess that I'm done for good or for life. And then she's just kind of being like, oh, what if I loved you way too much? Like, I'm still searching for your car in the street, all these memories, like this entire city has your memory. Just me. A really good song. So, and this entire intro just to say that I shared it because I saw him today again. Actually, I talked to him again today, and I also talked about this with his new girlfriend. And it's been so weird also being at school, because I'm not with my usual class. I have one friend who is genuinely barely ever there. Or I'm not there. Honestly, yesterday I wasn't there. In one class that I have more friends, but I wasn't there. But this class, usually I'm the only one there. And I'm in a group with my ex. And it's just always, it feels very isolating, because I don't really know anybody in the class except for his friends. And I'm not gonna necessarily stand around his friends, because I feel like I would be an intruder and would make things really awkward. But at the same time, I feel very isolated, because I'm just sitting there alone. Like before class, I just sat there alone. To be fair, didn't also recognize him because he cut his hair. It was like this, and now it's like this. It's like short, so it's almost unrecognizable. Which is also funny. But I could kind of just sat alone, and then I just always go into the classroom like one of the first, and then I sit alone, and then nobody really joins me, and it feels very, very isolating. But then, and it's always, for some reason, twice now. Like one time his girlfriend wasn't there, and then he immediately sat next to me, but the other times his girlfriend was there, and then he would sit next to his girlfriend. He's not in the same group. So then the teachers would always need to say like, oh yeah, you know how it is, sit with your group, discuss. And I'm like, thanks besties, because I'm always just struggling. And it's also the thing that like they come in quite late into the classroom. Otherwise, honestly, I would have just joined their table. Yes, with his ex. No, not ex, I'm the ex. With his girlfriend. Because she's really nice. She also likes Taylor Swift. I stalk her. I'm so sorry, girlie. She also stalks me. We know this. She doesn't know that I stalk her. He knows that I'm a stalker. Don't think that he knows that she stalked me. So it's a kind of like a fun triangle thing where I feel like I know the most, or I'm just no, actually I know the most. I want to say like, yeah, I'm just assuming that she stalked me. No, I know that she watched my Instagram story. Don't know how much she's still doing it, but who knows. But we actually talked. We saw each other in the hallway and then we smiled already. And it's just, I don't know, it's a bit awkward because like we met before. Because we once were at his friend's house, which he now lives together with. and then we were playing a game and she was also there. And so then we met actually for the first time, like properly, because I think before that we must have met already, because it was at like his propedeutic ceremony, and then people also talked to us, and like then she also was there, obviously, because they're in the same class. And what I remember from like, it was kind of like a mafia game, werewolves. She couldn't lie. She's really bad at lying. But it was a really fun game, but she was really bad at lying. And I guess I think I could lie, but I just become so anxious of it. So we've met before. And we obviously know about each other very, very obviously. So we just kind of smelled each other on the hallway. I don't know, it's been a bit weird. And then in the break, we actually both went to the bathroom and we were both like washing our hands right next to each other and like, oh. But then she actually started talking to me. We're like, oh yeah, you also have like the assignment that her boyfriend, my ex, also has, because we're in the same group. And then she was like, oh yeah, I'm curious, like what did you have? I was like, oh yeah, I didn't do it because I was like busy with other deadlines. And then I also just like, yeah, like what you did was like really nice. It was really cool. You don't give a compliment. And then she was kind of, and then when we walked out, she was kind of walking behind me, and I was like, okay, guess we're not talking more. Otherwise, I don't know, I'm so awkward. Because this is like also the first time we actually talked since that night or something. Which is also, so the last time we talked, we were in such different spaces. Because very obviously, I was dating her boyfriend. I don't know. So yeah, she's really nice. She's really skilled as well and talented. And her passport picture is behind his phone case. His phone case is now clear instead of his Mona Lisa edited together stuff. And it's just a little bit like, okay, don't want to see that, actually. Wasn't there earlier this week. Ooh. Also, it's upsetting, her passport picture is better than mine. To be fair, I took my passport picture back in like 2022, but her passport picture is like really good. So annoying. I'm also like, because I was wondering actually earlier this week, I gave him my passport picture when we were dating, just for fun, and then I think he put it in like his wallet. I do not know what he did with it. Full on, have no idea what he did with it. Because he never gave it back. So he must have thrown it out or something, or just like kept it maybe in a safe box. Also because I wrote him so many love letters. I'm kind of hoping that he did keep them. But who knows? Because those are physical. And the pictures and everything, they're still in a shared Google album. I actually haven't checked in a while, but I feel like he still hasn't deleted those. Which is also, it's so interesting. I know at first I was like, maybe kind of like holding on to that, but now I just think that he's very passive. I mean, I'm also not deleting them. But that's because I'm not over anything ever. Because I'm very slow with processing my emotions and anything that's happening. Which also brings me to my next point. Like today I talked to him, like we were sitting kind of close next to each other, or not next to each other, but like kind of diagonal next to each other. So then I also kind of like leaned over to like watch his screen because he made stuff and I couldn't see it because of the fucking sun. And it's just really weird to be physically this close to somebody that you're not close with anymore. Like I knew everything about him and he knew everything about me basically. And now we're just nothing? But we were something? And it's also like the last time I broke up with somebody who was in my class was in high school when I was 14. Also, I didn't break up, like she broke up with me. And then we didn't really sit next to each other or anything because we weren't sharing a group or anything. So now it's like, I don't know, we talk and it's normal, but there's just this layer of like the smallest layer of like I do not know what to do, like because I would just talk. Oh, there's the flyback. Usually, I would just talk about anything with him. I would just start talking about my day or like what I was going through. And now it's just the conversation goes that if it's not about school. And it's just so weird. And like there was a girl sitting next to me this time actually, and she is very talkative, so we kind of just also talked. And she also was like, "Oh, yeah, are you guys in the same group for like this different class?" And I was like, "Oh no, I don't actually have the class." And I have no idea still what people actually know about us. Because some people definitely follow him on Instagram and have very obviously seen me. I don't think I changed that much in the last like 2 years. Because obviously when we started dating, I dyed my hair red and stuff, and then I cut it short. But I feel like I'm still the exact same person, or I look very, very similar to what I. Well, okay, I do look better now. But I feel like I still look very, very similar to what I did back then. And we were always together. So if we had class together or like starting at the same time, we would go to each other's classrooms and like kiss and then kind of say goodbye to each other. People must have seen that. Like they must have seen us always like together and everything. And on his Instagram, my Instagram. People don't really follow my Instagram. And now, okay, to be fair, I guess for them it's also like they didn't see me for like half a year, because obviously I went to England, but then, and also like they actually all had like internship. He didn't, so they also didn't really see him. And also he didn't actually post a big post on his Instagram for like a year. Like after half a year of us dating, he stopped doing that. He posted like Insta stories, but the last one of that was also maybe a year and a half. I do not know if we were actually together at that point, like physically together in the same spot. Maybe, I think so. I do not know. I kind of want to check, but otherwise the last one is like a happy birthday post, which is in July. So then also, I guess you. I'm looking currently. Yeah, we must have hung out on the 28th, which was like a year and a half. I'm not sure if we actually posted anything on our stories, like, oh, happy year and a half and stuff, but definitely for our birthdays, which was in July. And actually, when we were in Hungary, I also posted him. So then that was end of July, beginning of August, and then obviously nothing happened because I was physically not in the country, and then we broke up. And he posted her for Valentine's. Actually, he reposted her stuff for Valentine's Day. So I guess maybe for the public eye, it doesn't feel that weird, because they didn't see us post anything for like half a year. I fear that I think too much about what other people think about me. I feel like I'm just talking in circles, not really talking about what I'm feeling, just talking about what happened and talking about what other people are thinking. Back to feeling weird about sharing such a close space with him. It's like I want to talk more to him. I like being like leaning into him. My normal reaction would just literally rest my head on his arm, and I know his hoodie, I know exactly the fabric, I know how it feels, and I really wonder if he also like if I do that, he also immediately knows what it feels like for my head to be like on his arm or whatever. It's just weird. I don't know how to deal with this, because like also it's most fun actually with this class when we actually talk, because we're chill and like we're talking to each other, and I still have a piece of him in my life. And with other classes we don't really talk, we just kind of look at, like, I don't think he really looks at me, I sometimes glance over at him, but still it's like, yeah, like we're not, this is the closest we will ever be again, And once this class ends, I don't think we will ever talk again, and it's really, really weird. Like that's also the thing. I'm slowly getting ready to let everything go and like to be myself and like to heal and ready for the next thing. Not really, but for manifesting. But I'm not ready yet for him to be out of my life. Like I'm getting there, but I'm not ready yet. And so also like in 2 months, I only have like 2 months left where I will be sharing a class with him, and then it is truly just like it's just officially done. It's just that's it. And considering the fact that I haven't seen him outside of school a single time, I don't think I will ever see him again. And also I only have half a year left after this of internship, which I'll be mostly doing at an internship and maybe at school. And then maybe at school we'll see him. And then that's it. And it's weird. It's really weird. I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know. Because it's also like I haven't had a depression day in at least over a week or something ever since like the weekend where I sent like the voice message to him. I haven't had a depression day like in the sense of like I was physically kind of ill, but I wasn't like mentally depressed that I was like I cannot do anything anymore. And I also haven't really cried about it yet. Like I do not know what I'm feeling. I'm trying to pinpoint an emotion to my weird feelings, but I just do not know. And he actually had like a wheel of emotions, which we honestly didn't really use that much. And I'm like slowly getting into the phase where, yeah, okay, maybe we weren't that great for each other and maybe we wouldn't have lasted. But we were great for each other. But maybe not that much. And like, with our unhealthy attachment styles, like polar opposite of attachment styles. But I'm just not ready to accept that, I'm afraid. I'm not ready to completely let him go and be it. And of course, like, I genuinely, for like almost 2 years, I split my life in half with him. And it's the closest I've ever been with anyone. Like this is the only time ever I lived together with somebody that I actually liked and talked to and everything. And it wasn't even living together. It was literally living in a studio. The only separate room that we had was a bathroom, and then half the time we were still showering together. And I shouldn't think about that. That's happy memories. I shouldn't think about the happy memories. And it's just insane. Like, I know that I'm afraid of splitting my life in half, and I kind of don't want to split my life in half again, but also I split my life in half with him. I already did that. And that's not something I can take back, and not something I want to take back, because I look back on it and it's like, yeah, that's it. So like he will also forever have a piece of me, because I split my life in half with him. Like we were... I don't... Please, for the love of God, do not ever let me date somebody for years, move in together, live with him for years, like, 5-10 years and stuff, and then break up, because I do not know how I'm gonna survive that, girlies. If I can... I'm struggling with not even 2 years of not even constantly living together. It was like a solid 1 year. 1 year and a couple of months. That we were full on living together. Actually, it was like, let's say around 1 year, we were just full on living together, seeing each other basically every single day. Very, very intense relationship. Also how it started, very intense, very quick. Wouldn't have done it any other time, any other way. But it's also, I think, just us being naive, because we just ran with it. We absolutely ran straight into it, until I basically dragged us into a wall. Until I basically my past trauma or my upbringing, it built a wall and we crashed straight into it. And then I was like, fuck, I made that wall. That's my doing. Except I didn't realize that I made that wall. I thought he made the wall. I'm afraid, like, actually, how can I use this wall analogy? We were running and I saw a wall and I thought he built that wall, so I started to slow down. However, maybe not slow down. I started to drag it, like slow down a little bit and drag us into a different wall. I dragged us into a different wall that I made. Except the wall was connected. Maybe. Let me phrase this. I found it. I found the unit. I'm talking bullshit right now, but I found it. Okay, we were running. We grabbed each other's hands. We dashed for it, and we constantly did. Up until a moment when I couldn't see so clear, and it was like really foggy, and I was like, ooh, maybe we should avoid the fog. So instead of like slowing down and stuff, I changed the path and went straight into a wall, and I thought that he built the wall, but turns out I made that wall. And I crashed straight into the wall. And he crashed into me. And then he was like, okay, let go of my hand. Well, I forced him to let go of my hand. And then I was like, alright, that's what you want. And then he walked to a different path. And held hands with somebody else. See, I'm also, they're probably really cute together. If it was literally anybody else, I would be their biggest supporter. But it's my ex. I don't want to support that. It's weird because I'm really supportive and we broke up on really good terms and like we couldn't have done anything about it because it's literally just how traumatized I am. And I need to be kind to myself and I need to forgive myself for it because I didn't know any better. And it's just how I grew up. But it's just extremely difficult to see the man that you loved and like you were the most vulnerable with move on so quickly. And also this kind of brings this insecurity and this jealousy of like, oh, I bet that she's a lot less mentally ill, and I bet that she's a lot easier to date, because I know I'm a lot, and I know that I'm even more because I don't open up. But at this point, like, I've been kind of trying to do that for the past week, but also sometimes when I do it, it just, like, the day after, I'm just regretting it. And I'm kind of feeling like I'm spinning out of it. Like, I feel that I don't have control if I'm being vulnerable. And I also do not know how. So I do not know if it's making people uncomfortable, if I'm just being really annoying right now. And it also kind of feels like I'm not being myself because I'm not used to being like that. And I always thought like, oh, I'm sensitive and I'm like open and I'm vulnerable, but I'm not. I may be sensitive. I don't think I'm even that sensitive, but I am not open at all. I'm only open on the internet, clearly. And I don't know what I'm doing. God. Like, I know so much more about myself than I did at 18, but still, Taylor Swift was not lying when she said, how can a person know everything at 18 and nothing at 22? I feel like I'm so clueless. Felt like I was so grown up back then. And now I'm just spinning into a vortex. I don't even know what vortex is called. But see, this also shows how much I like talk in songs. I guess maybe a part of me forgets that he isn't mine anymore. Like, a part of me still thinks that a part of him is mine. And I'm kind of like, I'm not own him. But also, like, I do not know when somebody else in his life will know him better than that I do. Because, he has new roommates and stuff, but they also been only living together for 2 months. His new girl, they've only been dating for like 2 months. We dated for so much longer. So then also, I think he might still be the person that knows me the best. And I think I'm also still a person that I know him the best. Like, I know things that nobody else does. Can't wait for the moment that he has the guts to tell his new girl that he proposed to his first girlfriend to break up with her. See, I find it hilarious, because I'm also a little bit insane. I find it diabolical. I still do not know if I'm using that word correctly, but I find it hilarious. All of my friends that I've told are like, red flag. I'm like, yeah, I know, but like, also it's hilarious. Also because he doesn't do it to me. Because I sabotage myself. I think either manifesting or praying to God, like, please give me a sign that there's somebody out there who is just almost perfect for me, Almost. To be fair, I will find a sign in anything. I found a sign in the Lizzie Michael Pine concert. I found a sign in the snow that was right after the day I broke up after him. I found a sign in the hot air balloons. I will find a sign in everything. He will find a sign in everything. What if I find a sign in my homework? Yeah, babes. What if we actually become an academic weapon? Because today you also needed to tell him, like, yeah, I actually didn't do it because other deadlines. Actually, I didn't even give him a reason. I just said, like, yeah, I didn't do it. Because to be fair, I was sick for like quite a couple of times the last 2 weeks. And then also I needed to say, like, yeah, I kind of only started like 2 days ago, and never mind, it's a strategy. Girl, you're meant to be cool, and like, you're meant to be like, look, I have my shit together. I cannot lie to him. Genuinely, he should not ask me the most honest questions, because I cannot lie to him. Absolutely not. He didn't even ask me a question, I just said it. Anyways, but I cannot lie to him. I always need to be honest. And also, if I would suddenly be like, yeah, I have all of my shit together, I am such an academic weapon, he knew I would be lying. He knew. He would be like, what the fuck is up with her? The same as like when he was like, yeah, I still kind of need to do that as well. I'm like, yeah, I know. I have a feeling that the only reason that he's doing the Photoshop things of the visualization class is because we're in a group together. And I always told him, like, do your homework, bro. And also because his girlfriend is there. It's like, I would find it really funny if that would be the only reason. And then I didn't do it. To be fair, he didn't do it in the first week, so I fear that that's only allowed. And then the other girlie wasn't there last week. So now we're all equal. I was allowed to not to kind of fuck up for 1 week. This has made me feel better talking about myself about all of these things. I feel like that I repeated myself a million times again. But I'm doing a bit better now. Have it out of my system. With all of these weird feelings that I cannot place. It's just feeling really weird. And also all of these messages, like these diaries becoming longer and longer. I thought it would be the opposite. I thought once I have explained everything, I wouldn't be doing that anymore. Turns out I forget everything the second I say it. So everything is extremely long and everything has been repeated a million times. Anyways, yay. This will be honestly probably kind of embarrassing to look back on in like a year or so or longer and be like, wow, you were going through it this much for a guy. It's April. Yet my name reminds you that you broke up in November. November 17. Girly pop. You didn't even know he existed 3 years ago. To be fair, I was also going through it 3 years ago. Also, it's April, so now I'm feeling more sad because grief, grandparents kind of several died in April. Don't think I was feeling that sad last year, but who knows? I might have.